your voice. The silence is deafening to the demeaning minds of a confused dimension of scattered people notwithstanding the truth. To lie about the reality of things gone completely out of hands up, don't shoot. Protectors are shooters, brothers killing brothers, degrading human life, human dignity, and all this strife. Where is the love? Where is the love? Where is the love? Stop the madness. Let it start with you. Complaining not the answer. Raise your voice. Take a stand. Break the deaf silent all over the land. We can do this. Yes, we can. Yes, we can. No longer a choice, but a demand. Love light this dark world. Raise your voice. In love, raise your voice. Hi, my name is Brenda. You are tuned in to Vow, Voices of Wisdom, the show that's not for everybody, but everybody needs to watch this show. I am so excited to be back in the studio today. It's been a long time, and I'm so excited to have on my show today, Jay Ivy. Whoa.
What's happening?
Hey.
How you doing?
Good, and you? Good, and
Yeah,
you?
yeah, thank you. It's good to be here.
Grammy Award winning
Yeah.
poet,
Yeah.
spoken word artist.
Yeah.
I mean, more titles and more titles. I'm just so excited and so honored to have you on my show today.
And the honor is all mine. I really appreciate the invitation. I'm excited to be here. Excited to, dive in and give what I do.
Yeah. So tell us a little about you. Was born and raised in Chicago?
Yes, indeed. Chi-town from the South Side. I moved with my family. We moved out to the South suburbs. So my mother didn't want me to go to high school in the city. So middle of my 8th grade, we moved out to the South suburbs. But Chicago has always been, part of who I am. It's been my makeup. So it wasn't in the suburbs. It was where I discovered this love for the stage and performing when I was in high school.
And that's where you got your first standing ovation, I understand.
Yeah. It was a homework assignment. My junior year, my English teacher, she gave us this assignment to write a poem. So I wrote it, not thinking anything of it. I knew I was good at writing notes to girls, but other than that, I was like, So I did my assignment. Next day, she surprised everyone and said, okay, everyone's going to read their poem in front of the class. So I didn't want to do it, but I had to, so I read my piece, not thinking anything of it. And after class, she surprised me, pulled me to the side, and said, you have a nice speaking voice. I want to put you in a show.
Really?
Yeah, so I was like, a show? I was shy to myself. I'm like, nah, I'm not going to do that. But anyway, I didn't do the show. She had another show come up. She was like, you know what? You faked me at the last time. This time you have to do it. So she gives me a monologue to learn. And I did the show, and first time ever on stage, I got a standing ovation. I just fell in love with,
Awesome.
I didn't even know what I fell in love with, but I just knew I loved that feeling, and I wanted to, find it again and again.
So that's great, because nowadays, we struggle with education and teachers doing the right thing. So,
Yeah.
what was the teacher's name?
Miss Argue, Miss Paula Argue.
All right, we got to give her a shout out.
Yeah, that's my girl.
All right.
Yeah, anytime something good going on, I'm like, Miss Argue, this will happen, this happened, this happened.
That's
So
cool.
she's,
So you're still in connection with her?
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
cool. That's
yeah.
really cool.
She's incredible, and she changed my life.
Yeah,
She really did, and I'm very grateful for her.
And then from there, you went to, college? To what college did you go to?
Illinois State University.
And you was deemed the poet?
Yeah, it was kind of the same thing happened in high school, happened in college. I wrote a
Okay.
poem for this girl, and she loved it. All girls loved it, so I took it to my English professor. She loved it, so she's like, look, me and my sorority sisters are having a show. Why don't you come to a show, and why don't you come to the show and write a poem for it? And I was like, oh, I can perform what I write. So this was my first time, expressing my own, thoughts, because before it was monologue, it was a script. It was something that I was being given. So I did that show, and I was hooked. So from there, I was just writing all the time and doing every show I could find on campus, all the talent shows, and whoever was doing something, I was involved with it. And by the second semester, people considered me the poet. So
The
like, oh
poet.
yeah, the poet, the poet. What? So yeah, that was
Awesome.
me. You know.
So when did Russell Simmons discover you? When did that happen?
This was in 2001. I did a show for a friend out in LA, and after performing at her, it was a barbecue at her home.
Really?
So after performing this barbecue, she calls me the next week and was like, "Look, have you heard of this show that Russell Simmons is doing called Def Poetry?" And I was like, "Yeah, I've been hearing about it." And I've been, trying to figure out how to get on. And she was like, "Well, look, my father, he was at my barbecue. He loved what you did. And he told Stan Lathan about you. And Stan Lathan was the director of the show. And Stan wants to see you perform." I said, "Oh, wow." So she's like, "Look, you need to get back out here to LA." She's like, "You got about 4 weeks." I'm like, I was broke at the time. I'm like, I'm gonna get back to LA. The very next day, I happened to get a call from this other guy that I knew. And he's like, "Jay, I got a show. Want to bring you out here to LA. It's in 3 weeks. It's in Hollywood." I said, "Cool." So we invited Stan Lathan out, and he actually came out to the show,
Wow.
and I had a good show that night.
That's a good
I
thing,
had a
huh?
good show,
That's good.
So yeah, it went from there. I sent my tape in, and a couple weeks after sending my tape in, it called me. It was like, "Congratulations, you're gonna be on the first season of HBO Def Poetry." Yeah, and I was very
How did that
excited.
feel?
I
I
mean,
mean,
like,
how did that
I mean, when I
feel?
got the call, it was, I lost it. I was at my mama's house, and I'm screaming and hollering. I dropped the phone, and I was talking to the executive producer. He was on the line on the floor. I'm running around screaming, hollering. I came back. "Oh, I'm sorry, man. Oh, man, I'm sorry. My bad, my bad." So he was like, "Nah, man." He was like, "You deserve it." He was like, "Celebrate." He was like, "This is a great moment." He was like, "If you don't have a manager, get one." He's like, 6 million people gonna be watching. So I was like, "All right, I'm ready for that." So yeah, it was an amazing experience to, come out to New York and to be in this arena with, first of all, you're just in New York.
Yeah.
You're in the mecca of
Yeah.
entertainment. And then here you are on this stage, with these dynamic poets and storytellers from around the country, and to be part of that, to have one of those slots, it was such an honor, and it was surreal. It felt like I was in a
Bet.
movie.
I bet.
The whole moment.
It's like you're pinching yourself, right?
Yeah, I'm
I'm not
talking to
gonna wake
Dave
up. I'm not gonna
Chappelle.
wake up.
Yeah, I'm backstage with Dave
Yeah.
Chappelle and Mary
Wow.
Baraka, and he
Wow.
performed. I performed right after him. I was like, how did they put me? How they gonna do me like this?
Wow.
So it was so amazing, and I always say it felt like, for a poet, it felt like going to the Olympics. Like this was like us,
Yeah, yeah,
like the
yeah.
biggest stage in the world,
Absolutely,
and
absolutely.
it was amazing.
And you have opened up for many people.
Yeah,
John Legend, Patti LaBelle, I mean,
yeah.
all kinds of people. So name some more people that you've opened up for.
Um,
Well, maybe I can say, what was your most memorable performance?
Most memorable, most memorable. There's been a
Been a
lot of
lot of them?
memorable. Yeah,
Well, name a
I
few
mean,
of them.
most recently I did something. I had the opportunity to perform and introduce George Clinton, and that was amazing. He told me I was on the mothership, so that was definitely memorable. I'm like, "Yo, let's fly, let's go." I've been
Wow.
on stages, of course. Being on I was on Kanye's first album, so I've been able to perform. I performed with Kanye and been on stages with Common and
How did that happen? Was it Never Let Me Down?
Never Let Me Down.
How did that transpire?
So what happened was,
What happened?
so I moved to New York after doing Def Poetry,
Oh, okay.
and I was staying in Brooklyn, and this was around the time Kanye got his record deal. But at the same time, there were a lot of Chicago folk that had moved out to New York, so it
Really?
was like this Chicago crew hanging
Oh,
out.
okay.
And so myself, Kanye, another one of my buddies, Cootie, who's a director, he was we were all hanging out together. Tari Teray, she was one of the folks, singer, incredible singer. She had moved out here, so we were all just hanging out, And Kanye got his record deal, so he goes to L.A. to record. So that's when he got into the car accident out in L.A.
Right,
So he
right.
calls Cootie up, because Cootie was the one who was documenting him at the time. So he called Cootie up, was like, "Look, I need you out here in L.A." He was like, "This is life changing." Matter of fact, me and Cootie was riding through Harlem when he called, and he was rapping with his mouth wired shut. Cootie looking at me like, this dude ain't supposed to be talking, and he rapping right now. It's like, you know, that's Kanye, you know. So anyway, he flew Cootie out there. So every day Cootie's calling me like, man, Jay, we was just at Jamie Foxx's house, and him and Kanye did this song called Slow Jams. I got it all on tape. Next day they somewhere else.
Wow.
He's like, man, you gotta get out here. So the Saturday rolled around. I'm motivated. At the same time, I was broke. So I ain't had no money to go nowhere, but I'm motivated. I'm inspired. So I was like, you know, I need to be working on my craft. So I was at home, and I was writing about 11 o'clock that night. Cootie gives me a call. He's like, Jay, you need to get to LA right now. I'm like, wow, what's up? He's like, man, Kanye got a song with him and Jay-Z on it, and he want to put a poet on it. And I told him he need to put Jay Ivy on it. So I'm like, man, come on, man. I was like, dawg, that's not funny. I was like, this is really not funny. He's like, nah, for real.
Wow.
He's like, you need to get out here right now. So when I realized he was for real, I was like, oh, well. I was like, if you for real, I'm going to find a way out there. So he plays the song for me over the phone. I really couldn't hear the words. So he was telling me what Jay-Z was saying in his verse. He sang the hook. Then he was telling me what Kanye was saying in his verse. He was like, Jay, get out here. I was like, I'm going to find a way. So I hung up the phone, and I turned to the blank page. I was like, Jay, you need to write something right now. So I turned to the blank page, and I wrote one line. After writing that first line, I got stuck. Mine went completely blank. I'm like, no, not now. So I started banging on the page. I was like, God, please. I was like, I need a piece right now. Please give me one right now. Please. I put my hand back to the page, and my hand just started moving, writing. Wrote a full page, turned the page over, wrote a few more lines. I stopped. I read over the piece. I said, man, this kind of hot. I was like, this kind of hot. So I read over it 4 or 5 times. I called Cootie back in like 10 minutes, like, dog, listen to this. So I spit the piece for him. He like, oh man, that's crazy. He like, hold on. So he goes in the other room. He in the studio. He goes in the other room. Music in the background's loud. The people are loud. So then the music goes down. The people get quiet. He's like, Jay, I'm put you on speakerphone. Spit it again. So I did the piece like I had done it 1,000,000 times already. You know, so I'm performing the poem, and when I finished, the room on the other end of the phone erupted. So everybody like, oh, did you hear that? You hear that? I'm in Brooklyn broke by myself, like, what's up? What's good? What's happening? What's going on? Somebody tell me something. So then I heard Kanye. Kanye like, man, Jay, do it again, spit it again. Do it again, spit it again. Do it again, spit it again. So I did it for like a half hour. The piece is a minute long. So I did it over and over and over again. And Cootie finally got back on the phone. He's like, Jay, guess what? I'm like, what? He's like, Kanye flying you out here tomorrow. I was like, I found my way. And that's how I ended up getting on that record.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
It was truly awesome.
Yeah, it was an amazing moment, amazing.
And Here I Am. Tell us about Here I Am.
So Here I Am. That was an album I put out a couple years ago, and it was just for me. You know, I always just wanted to marry my poetry with music. As you know, I just feel like that. I just carry, you know, the message further along. You know, so when we sat down to create Here I Am, I just took a look at what was going on in the world, you know, at the time, you know, and just wanted to tackle some of those issues. So like I have a song called War, you know, and you know, of course we in the thick of war, you know, and this dispute, that dispute, and even, you know, eternally, spiritually.
Absolutely.
You know, so I wrote a song about that. Domestic violence, you know, I have a song called Shades and Blades, where I told this story about this couple and this mother who was being abused, and she was sticking around because of, you know, for the sake of her children and them having a family, and then just her getting to the point where she just couldn't take it no more, you know. So it's like she keep a pair of shades because she always got a black eye, but now she got a sharp blade because she didn't reach that point, you know. So I tell that story. Have another story called what's the joint? Diddy. You know, folks talking about folks sell their soul to get to where they at. So I wrote this song called Did He? Did he sell his soul for the gold? Did he sell his soul for the clothes? Did he sell his soul for the... Did he? You know, so I wrote that story. And then at the end of it all, I wrote a song called Everything's Gonna Be All Right, you know, which Tari Ture was telling me about earlier. She helped, she wrote the hook for it because I had the track, and she started singing this hook, and I said, that's the truth. Everything is gonna be all right, you know. So we had one of my buddies, Chris Robb, he sang on it, did a song with the Last Poets, a song called Little Brother. So Here I Am was just like, here I am in this space and time, and this is what's going on around me, and I just want to tell it, you know.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you've done some acting, voiceovers.
Yeah. Yeah, been
So
busy.
some of the shows you've been in, acting in.
Acting, as far as shows, like I've done some plays here and
Oh,
there.
okay.
The acting has been more so something I've always aspired to do because it's something that is just in me and it's seen in my poetry. So I've done some plays. I was on an episode of ER.
Right.
But that was more so in my element because I was doing poetry on
you
the
were?
episode. Yeah,
Okay,
so
cool.
so I don't know if I consider that one acting, but I've done a lot of different shows with uh, openings for like football games,
Okay.
like college football. I've done voiceovers for Sunday night football, like with Faith Hill. So you would hear me doing some poetry, and then you'll see her. All right, Sunday night hit that. Okay. So
Love it.
she do it better than me.
Okay, okay.
But yeah, so I've done a lot of different commercials like Benjamin Moore, Nissan, where I do the voiceover work. But
How do you get that connection?
man, just I always just attribute it to just not stopping.
I hear you.
Because it's like I go and go and go, and it's like one thing leads to the next. I'll meet this person, they'll introduce me to this person, or they'll have an opportunity, and like, man, let's try this maybe, and it's just been blessing after blessing, really. A lot of times there are moments that I can't really explain except for, man, thank God.
I got you. I got you. I know.
Yeah, because people always ask me like, "Oh, what's the blueprint?" I'm like, there really only. I always say there is no blueprint, but if there was a blueprint, it would say never stop. It would say never stop.
I love it.
So it's like you keep going. You believe in yourself. You know what God has given you.
Right.
You're aware and confident in the gifts that you have, and you just keep pushing forward, and doors continue to open.
Absolutely. So you are the author of a book as well.
Yes.
And what is the name of the book?
Well, this is my second book. So the first book was a follow-up to the album Here I Am. So that book is Here I Am, Then and Now. And most recently, I wrote a book called Dear Father, Breaking the Cycle of Pain. And the book is based around a poem that I wrote, or a letter that I wrote to my father, titled Dear Father.
Do you want to do that for us?
Oh.
You want to do it for us now or later?
I could. It's a little. How much time we got?
We got like 9 minutes.
I can do it. It's about 7 minutes.
Do it.
Do it.
Do it.
All right. All right. Okay. So so yeah. So the poem itself, though, this is like there were tears on the page when I wrote it, but this is the happiest poem I've ever written in my life, and it just really expresses the power of forgiveness. So
And you can look in that camera.
in that camera.
And do your thing.
All right. I'm gonna take a little sip. Hey.
Yeah.
I wish you could have seen me do my thing. I wish you could have been there the first time I sang. I wish you could have seen how your baby boy flow. I wish you could have seen me rock just one show. I wish you could have seen me do my thing. I wish you could have been there the first time I sang. I wish that you didn't have to go. I wish you could have seen me rock just one show. Dear Dad, these words are being written and spoken because my heart and soul feel broken. I laugh to keep from crying, but I still haven't healed after all the years of my goofiness and joking. You got me open, hoping this ill feeling will pass, won't last. I wear a mask so my peace won't ask for the truth. Truthfully speaking, the truth hurts, but I'm beyond hurting. I'm in pain. Why does it hurt so much? I find myself fighting with myself every day to remain sane. My peace ain't got changed, maybe tripping off my fame, but I'm still the same old James. I know it's a shame I don't come around as much, but I don't want them to see me acting strange. I don't want them to feel one drop my rain, but I can't seem to get these feelings to stop. I can't get these thoughts on my brain. Now when I really need to reach out for your dad and touch your hand, I can't believe you're out of range. I'm starving for your love and I'm begging, please ease your crave. When I was little, I thought you left because I wouldn't behave. Later on in life, I found out that it was the cane as well as other things. And with all the scars, it was hard, but I learned to forgive and forgave.
I forgave him missing my basketball games and the touchdowns I scored the football games. I forgave him coming home high and drunk wrestling while my mother going insane. I forgave him missing all of my track meets and not being able to greet all the pretty girls that I wanted you to meet. I forgave him missing my birthdays and graduations and not being there when I needed advice in certain situations. I forgave despite the fights, the tears for all the years lost, wondering if I was loved. Sometimes all I needed was a call and a hug. I mean, I understand that people break up and don't make up and some relations don't last forever, but why weren't we together? Mine could have found new man, but where was I go find new dad? Looking back, I wish it would have begged me, pleaded my case, because I felt like I didn't matter, like I was deleting the erase. I would cry and still cry so much I get headaches. I try to get you on my mind, but I can't get you off of my face. I see you every time I see me, and I can't do nothing but ask God to bless me, expand my territory, place his hands on me, keep evil far away from me. I asked him to protect me like I wanted you to protect me from the bullies and the police. Now to protect my soul, I write poetry and release, and some say I'm a beast, but I'm just trying to find peace so I can pick up the piece of me that's falling apart. I shopped all over for love, and I end up with a lot of good items in my cart that help me pull out the dark, help me get out the dark, one being my art. But along the way, all of my decisions weren't so smart because my love was amputated. My life became complicated. My family, well, Dad, I don't know if you knew or not, but my sweet family became dysfunctional. I mean, I remember hiding under the dining room table when you and Ma would fight. I remember dishes, pots, and pans being put in flight. I remember the hole that you punched in the wall. I remember when Ma calls and work and told not to let you in, or you broke in, so I'm gonna get y'all. I remember the alcohol and smoke and going to the bathroom every 5 minutes so I wouldn't choke. I remember you called me out the blue and told me I had a brother that died and I never knew. I remember you snatched my train was off my little orange bike and making me ride when I was only 2. I remember you pushed Ma and she broke her ankle. I remember sitting there thinking, how could you do this to such a beautiful angel? I remember Ma waking us up in the middle of the night saying, shh, Jimmy, be quiet. Put some clothes in a jewels bag. We going to grandma's, and if your father come up to your school, don't tell him where we'd be. I remember spending Christmas at grandma's playing with my Stretch Armstrong thinking, man, this ain't my house. I wonder how Santa Claus found me. I remember your stinky feet. I remember all that pepper that you put in those ghetto meals that you would fix for us to eat. I remember listening to you on the radio, WVON, before I would go to school. I remember all those cars and planes that you were making all the kids on the block thought that my dad was so cool. I remember when you ran down the car and I was thinking, man, Dad's fast. I remember how you would curl your mustache. I remember the past. I remember the good and the bad. I remember thinking, is this love false? I remember us moving to the birds and my boys to place my love that was lost. And they gonna make me laugh and giggle. And my boy even taught me how to dribble so I could make the team, and I did. I thought that I would die without you, but Rome, Drake, Ike, Egg, and Todd made sure that I lived and was never sad. They even gave me their dads. Mr. Kemp, Mr. Whitaker, Mr. Cross, and Mr. Price became my dads, my cool daddies. But the little boy in me still wants his daddy badly. I feel like a scared little boy afraid to become a man, but I think I'm ready. I think it's time. I think it's time to shine and get mine. I think it's time to shine and get mine so I can ease my mind, let my soul climb. I think it's time to stand as a man of my own too, just how you used to do before those demons started hunting you. Because all I want to do is to make you and my proud, and I wonder if you are. I wonder if you know. I wonder if you know that God gave me a gift. I wonder if you know about the spirits that I lift. I wonder if you know I touch people with my words. I wonder if you know I inspire actions with my verbs. I wonder if you know that your baby boy in the show that aired for me to see on HBO, and that hard New York crowd that didn't even know actually gave me a standing O. I know you're proud. I know you are. Because I'm be the best just like you want to be. Watch and see. And just in case you can't, I'm going to scream it so loud that I shake the clouds and move them out the way of my sunshine. Because that's what you are, Dad. James Ivy Richardson Sr., do you hear me? You are my sunshine. That's why I forgave you. Because my love for you is still the same. It may have gone through a transformation, but it never really changed. So I swear on my mama and on my name, I'm going to stop this rain, conquer this pain, make sure that you did not die in vain. And when I get to heaven, I'm going to jump in your arms. We going to kick back like when I was little and watch the Bears game. I wish you could have seen me do my thing. I wish you could have been there the first time I sang. I wish you could have seen how your baby boy flow. I wish you could have seen me rock just one show. I wish you could have seen me do my thing. I wish you could have been there the first time I sang. I wish
I wish that you didn't have to go. I wish you could have seen me rock just one show, one show. Thank you.
Wow.
Thank you.
This is a taste of what you can all see on tomorrow night at the 9th Annual African American Film Festival that will be at the Southampton Cultural Center starting at 7 o'clock, and that's 25 Pond Lane.
Come on out.
Yeah. So your book will be out,
Pre-orders are available now.
we can't say where exactly. You
Oh.
can order it now.
You can order it now.
Well, you could order it now. You have a
and January
website?
27th is when it comes out.
Okay,
I can say that?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, but my website is j-ivy.com. So j-ivy.com.
awesome.
And yeah, it's available there and everywhere else out there, yeah. And definitely please we also have a community service component tied to it called dearfatherletters.com. Well, it's the Dear Father Initiative. The website is dearfatherletters.com. And the mission is 1 million letters written, 1 million hearts healed. So the book is really, it's my story, but more so than my story, it's a testament to the power of forgiveness. And we just want to use this tool to inspire others to tell their story and write that letter and start the healing process. Yeah.
Selah.
Thank you.
This was an awesome show.
Thank you.
And I love that, you're reaching out because there's so many young boys out there, young men out there that need that healing.
Yeah.
It's
And
too many.
women.
And women, absolutely. Because I've always had this slight argument that women or young girls need their fathers just as much or more,
Yeah. Yeah.
So we can't leave the girls out too, the women
Yeah,
out
that's
too.
their first example of how a man should treat them.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So tomorrow night is going to be a blast.
Yes, I'm ready.
Absolutely,
I'm ready.
absolutely. So this has been a great show. This is Val, Voices of Wisdom. Peace out.
Peace.